To the 1.3 billion people who smoke cigarettes, we're here to say, I'm very, very sorry. You deserve a formal apology from public health. Ain't nothing to it but to get into it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this apology letter is sent on behalf of global public health community. It may seem a little presumptuous of me and Dr. Mark Tyndall to take this on, but I've been around long enough to recognize a catastrophic blunder when I see one. To be clear, this is not a personal apology letter, but one written on behalf of all public health institutions around the world, including the World Health Organization. No individuals, no institutions or organizations have endorsed or even asked Dr. Tyndall to write this letter or me to upload this letter to YouTube. But someday they will appreciate it. History will not be kind to those who tried to impede access to the cure for the biggest preventable health crisis in the world. I urgently need to get this letter out to the 1.3 billion people who consume tobacco, who combust tobacco every single day. If you could kindly pass this on to at least one person, it would be a great start to getting the message out there, because YouTube certainly likes to censor us when we keep talking about the single best way to quit smoking. So if you'll indulge me for a moment and stick around, I think you'll really appreciate where this is coming from and what this means. Dear friends and global citizens who smoke cigarettes, it is truly embarrassing and inexcusable the way that you have been treated by public health community. By their actions, they are basically telling you to all just drop dead. I would understand fully if you just ripped up this letter or changed the video to something else you want to watch or lit it on fire, as I know that you all carry a lighter or Zippo, but I sincerely want to make things right. I don't want you to prematurely suffer and die for no good reason. You have things to do, places to visit, jobs to finish, stairs to climb, books to read, festivals to attend, and grandchildren to play with. The great news is that you can now have nicotine without getting sick and dying young. That's true. All the benefits of nicotine without the horrible health consequences. Vaping, heated tobacco, and nicotine pouches can all work to get you off cigarettes without sacrificing any bit of the pleasure you get from consumption. Compared to cigarettes, all of these products carry a small fraction of the risk, and there is no reasonably informed person anywhere on the planet who should be telling you otherwise. It is astounding and unethical that public health community doesn't want you to know about this. In fact, you are being systematically denied access to the products that could dramatically improve your life and ultimately save your life. You have been exposed to massive and well-funded disinformation campaigns that have deliberately created uncertainty and fear. This has not only generated confusion for you, but also among the non-smoking public. Also, the healthcare providers you rely on to help you find the off-ramp from the combustion highway, and the lawmakers and policymakers who are currently implementing laws restricting your access to the products you could use to not smoke cigarettes. We've known for over 50 years, my entire life, that cigarettes directly kill half of the people who use them and cause disability and suffering to the rest of the people who choose to smoke. It's estimated that over 8 million people die every single year from combustible tobacco. one death every 5 seconds. For this reason, public health organizations have focused their attention and resources on reducing smoking rates. In fact, we often congratulate ourselves on the progress as smoking rates have fallen. Well, at least in the high-income countries, where fewer young people are starting to smoke, and in some countries, there is an entire generation of youth who are never going to smoke a cigarette in their entire life. And there's a steady and predictable die-off of the number of current smokers. However, celebrating success on the backs of people dying is hardly a reason to take a victory lap. The focus should be on getting people who are already smoking to quit. And we have done a very, very poor job at that. The medical community has offered a range of treatments, including nicotine patches and pills, but they help less than 10% of the people who try them. And I'm not even going to get into the fact how unethical it is for the medical community to prescribe pills to people who smoke to get them to quit, all the while knowing that there are serious side effects for a percentage of those who take these pills. Suicidal ideation is a common side effect for certain pills that you can take to quit smoking. But your doctor and your misinformed medical professionals would rather give those prescription pills to you than possibly suggest a nicotine replacement therapy that is readily available everywhere and has already demonstrated a much higher success of quitting smoking with zero side effects. I'm not even going to get into how unethical that is, or why Dr. Tyndall didn't include that apology in his letter. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, the outlook for people wanting to quit has dramatically changed with the range of safer nicotine alternatives. These are not only extremely effective ways to quit smoking cigarettes, but provide alternatives that have major advantages for the consumer, bystanders, and society at large. Tragically, public health leadership has not caught up, and under the pretense of precaution and do no harm, have created massive harm by lying to you about its safety. The approach to vaping and other new nicotine technologies have essentially been added to the old tobacco control playbook, which was already failing, has failed my entire life. Instead of using proven public health approaches like empathy, encouragement, and harm reduction, public health has chosen shaming, isolation, and prohibition. These strategies have disproportionately impacted the poor and the marginalized, who will unlikely ever quit smoking cigarettes. These policies have also directly led to a burgeoning and violent illicit tobacco market that fills the streets with unregulated and potentially dangerous products because your local governments have prohibited them. Just look up the tobacco wars in Australia and see the devastation that is taking place there day after day after day because of a public health failure to the citizens of Australia. This is a total disaster from a public health perspective, irregardless of where you live. To deflect blame and provide cover for poor decisions, public health has identified the villain who we should all be channeling our anger towards. Yes, the big tobacco industry that keeps sending me, an ex-smoker of 6 years, coupons to go buy their cigarettes. Here's a group of companies that have presided over a highly profitable global experiment in humans suffering by manufacturing and promoting combustible tobacco over many decades. Safer nicotine products were never their idea to begin with. In fact, such disruptive technology is the last thing that these companies want. However, if people are switching to safer products, they have adjusted their business accordingly and have added alternative nicotine products. And yes, the big tobacco companies are selling these alternative nicotine products. But their focus is not on public health because they would rather tie up the products that have already successfully passed the FDA's arduous PMTA process in copyright patent wars so that the smoker has no alternative but to continue to smoke cigarettes while the lawyers battle if Marlboro's going to get 100% profit or whether they're going to just get 10 cents per coil that another manufacturer makes using the same patented coil technology. It's not about public health. It's about their profits. And it's all it's ever been about. Facts of the matter are that some of the largest tobacco companies plan on phasing out their cigarette business altogether, which is amazing. It is ridiculous to deny you life-saving products because some are manufactured by companies that also still make cigarettes. Who cares who makes safer nicotine products? Just get them out there. And for you big tobacco companies out there arguing over ridiculous patent rights and then simultaneously sending your lawyers out to get states to pass PMTA registry bills, you should be ashamed of yourself. I understand why public health has demonized the tobacco industry. But at this point, only the big tobacco industry has legally authorized products available for sale in the state of Pennsylvania due to House Bill 1425 that just got passed. And there are 20 other states that have the same PMTA registry bills, which are going to all but eliminate the most successful, the most enjoyable ways for somebody to not smoke cigarettes ever again. But I digress from this public apology letter written by Mark Tyndall. This apology letter would not be complete without acknowledging the outsized financial contributions from Michael Bloomberg Philanthropies, who offers unlimited funding to any organization who wants to ban nicotine products. It seems incongruent with his other global public health initiatives, such as polio eradication, road safety, obesity reduction. But he got terribly confused around safer nicotine products. He is now funding organizations that only serve to protect tobacco companies and prolong the global cigarette epidemic. I realize that this apology is too little, too late for the millions of people who have been denied life-saving nicotine alternatives. But it's not too late for you to act, for you to become educated about the cure for cigarettes and to give vaping or heated tobacco or nicotine pouches a try. I'm asking you to demand that political leaders grant you access to regulated, accessible, enjoyable, and safe nicotine products to empower you to quit smoking like I did, to live better and healthier lives. And I'm sorry, Dr. Tyndall, for interrupting your beautifully written letter posted on Substack, which is linked in the description of this video below. But I don't think you went far enough. There are public health professionals out there who truly do not know nicotine. This has been scientifically demonstrated. Not once, multiple times. Your doctors don't know nicotine. Your doctors would rather have you take a pill that could potentially cause you to commit suicide rather than acknowledge the fact that these products, the cheap Chinese disposables, are widely available everywhere, are much more satisfying, orders of magnitude more satisfying than any PMTA authorized product. But they work. Over 120 million people use vaping products every single day to not smoke cigarettes, and that number is growing and it's going to continue to grow. So my message to the public health organizations out there, to the lawmakers, to the people that represent us, to Robert Kennedy, to the Health and Human Services of the United States of America, and to Donald J. Trump, get off of your ass and get these products authorized for sale in this country. Because one person dying every 5 seconds is unacceptable. And to the people that follow this channel, I want to sincerely apologize for my lack of uploads and videos recently. My worry and fear of losing this in channel and the 5 and the 6 years of work that I've done to build this up has caused me to redo the review of this product 5 times now. That ends today. My videos won't be as polished as they were, but I'm definitely going to get them out there because we have to get the word out there for the smokers that still have not found the single best way to quit smoking. And I want to thank you for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And my wish is always, peace, love, and a hunky vape to end cigarette smoking. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you on the next one.